Hello guys and welcome to our YouTube channel Akata TV, where we'll be talking about trending news in Nigeria. Well, today I'll be giving you a couple of COVID-19 updates on flights that would not be allowed in or out of Nigeria when international flights commence on Saturday, September 5, and what you need to know when flying into the country. I'm sure this information will serve very handy, so you have to listen attentively. So the federal government, through the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, earlier this week announced that international flight operations will commence this weekend on Saturday, September 5, with the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, and Murtala Muhammed Airport fully certified to have met all provisions for commencement of operations. Speaking at a briefing of the Presidential Task Force, the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, however, said some airliners had been barred from operations in the country, and that includes Air France, KLM, Etihad, Rwandair, Air Namibia, Royal Air Maroc, Lufthansa, Taag Angola Airlines. So, if you reach out to any of these flights with the intent of coming to Nigeria, you probably find yourself wasting time and maybe money.
The one not approved, number one, Air France is not approved. Middle East Airlines is approved for both Lagos. They only come to Lagos anyway, approval here from Lebanon. British Airways, approved, allowed entry under COVID-19 protocols. Now the reason for Air France is that tourist visas holders are not allowed entry. KLM not approved for the same reason as Air France. Delta Airlines, no restrictions. USA will have an open skies with them, and also they allow us in also. Qatar Airways are allowed and approved under COVID-19 protocols. Etihad not approved. Ethiopian Airlines allowed entry under COVID-19 protocols. Egypt Air approved, allowed entry under COVID-19 protocols. Rwandair not approved. Air Peace not applicable, they are approved, they are our own carrier in Nigeria, we thank them. Virgin Atlantic approved, allowed entry under COVID-19 protocols.
And that's the minister, and as you heard what he said, the reason for Air France and KLM's ban is that tourist business holders are not allowed entry. And the only reason Cabo Verde and South African airlines cannot come into Nigeria is because international flights are yet to resume in the countries. But in case you didn't get it all, the only airliners allowed in and out of Nigeria includes Middle East Airline, British Airways, Delta, Qatar, Ethiopian Airlines, Emirates Airlines, Air Peace, Virgin Atlantic, ASKI Airlines, Africa World Airways, Air Cote d'Ivoire, Kenya Airways, and Egypt Air. Now, I know you're excited and probably making plans to return to the country or come spend Christmas or maybe a business meeting before December. That's if you're outside the country. Here's what you need to know. First,
this applies particularly to people who are outside the country and are planning to come to Nigeria. So pre-departure, we need three things. One, we need a negative COVID-19 PCR test. This needs to be done from a certified laboratory, an accredited laboratory within the country you are leaving. It should not be a fake result, because we will develop systems that will allow us to identify results that are fraudulent. And it needs to be done preferably as close as possible to the time of boarding. That is within 72 hours of departure. But we will still accept tests that are valid within 7 days, simply because of the difficulty logistically of making sure that everybody has a 72-hour window for the test in some countries.
Yep, that's the coordinator of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Dr. Sani Aliyu, speaking there. So in one swoop, what do you need to do before getting into the country? 1. You must be tested, and not just that, your test must be negative. Aside testing negative for COVID-19, your test has to be conducted at a certified or accredited center. Oh, maybe you didn't hear Aliyu say that. Let's take a rewind.
This applies particularly to people who are outside the country and are planning to come to Nigeria. So pre-departure, we need three things. One, we need a negative COVID-19 PCR test. This needs to be done from a certified laboratory.
2. Another good thing for intending travelers is that you undertake a COVID-19 test within 96 or 72 hours. Well, you're expected to have been tested about 14 or 7 days before, but like Dr. Aliyu said earlier, you'll still be allowed into the country if you had a test 7 days or lesser before the trip. 3. And there's this important one you need to know. Before getting into the plane, you need to register on Nigeria's international travel portal to pay for an in-country COVID-19 test. So aside taking a test very close to your trip, you'll have to take another one within 7 days of getting into the country. Although recent entrants into the country have undergone free tests, that free gift ended a while ago, and now you have to pay. Now, just before making this clip, we tried checking the site www.nitp.ncdc.gov.ng. There was nothing, but test fees in Nigeria have been ranging from 15,000 to 70,000 naira. 4. There will be fewer crowds at the airports. How is the federal government achieving this? A digital health form. And this is the same as the usual health form, but this is online and can be filled before getting into the airport, while changes noticed after temperature checks can be imputed later. However, if you display any of the COVID-19 signs at the airport, even when your test is negative, you won't be allowed into the flight or even out of it.
Airlines will be fined $3,500 per passenger for failure to comply with the pre-boarding requirements.
5. Yes, you heard that. Airlines that flout any of these provisions and let a passenger with COVID-19 in will have to pay a whopping $3,500 per passenger. 6. Also, the period required for self-isolation when you get into the country has now been reduced to just 7 days. 7. And one quick one before I end this. Passports will be returned immediately upon arrival into the country once you meet all the requirements mentioned earlier, especially testing negative for COVID-19, filling the digital health form, and guess what? Paying for the COVID-19 test form. And I can hear somebody say Nigeria and money, we are birds of the same feather. So if you need to get into the country, do these things as and when due, and there will be no glitches. Also find a link to the documented instruction on the description section below. And don't forget to click the link, subscribe, share, and like.